Welcome to Tribeca 2026.
What's going on, world? Once again, it's your boy Derek Dunn back with another A1 interview. As you all know, Tribeca is in full swing. Tribeca 2026, 25th anniversary, if I'm not mistaken. And today I have the pristine, blessed privilege of talking to some of the creative team behind the documentary White Belt. So first and foremost, congrats on making it to Tribeca. Looking forward to hearing about your project. And why don't you all introduce yourself to my viewers out there?
Monica, you
Hi,
can go.
sure. Hi, my name is Monika. I'm known as Jack in the fashion industry. I'm an international model that worked in the fashion industry for almost 20 years now, and I am the star of White Belt.
My name is Branislav Jankic. I go by Brani, and I'm the husband of Monica and the director of White Belt.
Very cool. So you guys kind of keeping it in the family, working it together. So first and foremost, what was the inspiration for you guys to do White Belt?
Well, the inspiration was, my wife's story is very unique, in my opinion, and I felt there was a good moment to tell her story to the wider audience and tell her story in a way that hasn't been told before. A lot of people know her from the fashion industry, but nobody really knew the whole spectrum of the story. So when she decided to train jiu-jitsu, when she turned 30 and wanted to compete in just 8 months, I said, well, this is a perfect timing for us to uh, put on the camera and just, do a couple of interviews along the way and film your journey and then see what comes out. So luckily the film came out to be great.
Very cool. And for Monica, how was the transition going from modeling to doing jiu-jitsu in terms of the athleticism?
It was very different. Luckily, I have some background in sports overall, so I wasn't starting from totally zero and no muscles. Even though I am a model, I've always kept it very, very active, basically since my childhood. But definitely a very new world for me. A combat sport is not something that I was used to. And especially, wrestling with big men on the mat for my training was very new to me. Um, but yeah, I kind of needed that. I went into this very conscious that this is going to be uncomfortable, and that was part of the process of getting used to the new hobby.
So for me, from the outside looking in, out of shape, I kind of, when I got out of the Air Force, kind of let all that go. But I love to see jiu-jitsu. My son's a practitioner. His instructor's a good family friend. So some of the stuff that they do is just awe-inspiring to see. Even when my son would go to tournaments and seeing some of these kids like really get into it. Much respect. I think it's a little bit more, I'd say, tougher than wrestling. Traditional wrestling because jiu-jitsu. If somebody gets you in a hold, it can be over in a couple of seconds. So kudos to you for taking on that endeavor and yeah. So watching the doc, what's the one thing that you hope that young girls take away from it?
Um, exactly what you said, that like, there is nothing is untouchable and you're able to do anything. And I think that limitless thinking that we're not used to, I think girls are used to fitting into a vision that other people have for them and trying to please everybody around them. And I've done it for many, many years. And especially my career is basically based on that, on other people telling you how to behave and how to look and kind of calling you into places. And I'm always vision of somebody else's creative creative vision. So now this was the first time that I kind of broke out of that and reclaim that ability of, doing something for myself and stepping onto that mat um, purely because I wanted to. I wanted to prove to myself that I can do it. And anything is possible.
For Mr. Brand, when crafting the film, did you ever watch any of the classic sports films that involve martial arts or the underdog just to get the aesthetics of the angle you wanted to take for your doc?
So I'm a 90s kid, you know, so I grew up on Karate Kid, the Van Damme movies and all that. So I rewatched, exactly, you did too. So I rewatched Bloodsport and all those uh, older movies that I grew up with that I was so excited about. And one of the ways, I'm glad you're pointing it out to, one of the ways we approached the shooting and the whole music and everything was really thinking, like, what if we were doing this in the 80s and 90s? Let's make it this exciting, you know, kind of like from the, you know, like training and then getting up to become the champion, right? So absolutely, yeah. I was rewatching them all. I was showing it to Monika too, and we even used soundtracks from it. You know, we're like playing with
Rani,
ideas. Yeah.
Rani has been playing a rock music a couple times to me when I was training the 8 months. So yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, you brought up a good point. I think one of the greatest things that cinema can do, especially when it's a sports film that involves boxing, martial arts, whatever, it's the training montage. And the music is such a key element of the scene because if you don't have the right music, then it's not gonna, come across, particularly with Rocky 4 when he's training in Soviet and he's going to fight uh Drago and they're playing Hearts on Fire and just the way that from the chopping of the wood to the running up the mountain to, cross-cutting with Drago doing his thing, like it gets you pumped up. Even
Yes.
if you're on athletic, for a couple minutes after you watch the movie, you want to get out there and run or do something. So yeah, kudos to you, brother, for throwing that in there.
Yes, absolutely.
So what was the reaction you all had when you guys found out that you made it into Tribeca?
I was the lucky one to receive the call because my my email and my phone number was on the submission, which was pretty crazy. And I think I did not expect to get a call. One thing is to get an email, another thing is to get a call and be like, "Hey, we really loved your film." So to be told that by somebody who is really, one of the top people who sees the best things in the world being applied was pretty crazy. And I think because it's a family affair, it was a family celebration after. So that felt extra special that, I could share this with my husband and my daughter.
Very
And to
cool.
add to that, you know, Tribeca is a festival, and like, you know, I sent a few of my earlier works there, and you know, I always got the rejection, and I'd say it's a festival that for so many years kept such um the best way to put it. Whenever I got a rejection from it, I was like, all right, well, it just didn't fit their program. I was never really upset. I always knew that they're watching the films, that they're really having, because they're keeping it so tight because they're such amazing professional people looking at films from all over the world. And so to be selected for this special 25th anniversary was just, you know, mind blowing. So yeah.
Well, congrats once again. I'm looking forward to sharing my thoughts with the world once the embargo lifts. And where can fans find you guys on social media and more about the film?
Soon, hopefully soon we can show it to more people. We're still waiting for a couple answers from other festivals. Um, but you can follow me at JAC Monica with K on Instagram, and I think this is would be the place that you can, see the most about the film and the next screenings.
All right, thank you all again, and congrats once again.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Bye bye.
Yo, what's going on? This is Drizzy Drake.
Hi, this is Rihanna.
Hey, what's up? This is Ludacris.
You're rocking with the best. It's Reviews and Done.